Well, it's finally here. The highly sought after Cyberpunk 2077 1.2 patch notes. They made an absurd number of changes. Buckle your seatbelts because this is gonna be a long one. I'd highly recommend letting this video play and listening while doing something else, like listening to an audiobook, because the patch notes are that big. If you'd prefer to read them yourself, though, I'll put a link to the 1.2 patch notes at the top of the description of this video. But otherwise, sit back, relax, and get ready for a full audiobook of patch notes. All right, let's get started. Patch 1.2, list of changes, March 29th, 2021. I don't think this is live right when I post this video, but it should be live anytime now. Patch 1.2 for Cyberpunk 2077 is coming to PC, consoles, and Stadia soon. Here's a list of the most notable changes coming in this update. Please note that the issues listed below did not affect all players. Yep, that's okay. Yep. Gameplay. The NCPD spawn radius for when the player commits a crime has been increased. So that way they spawn further away from you potentially, which doesn't really solve the issue of how obnoxious that system is. New steering sensitivity slider added to controls settings. Allows reducing steering speed for all vehicles on all input devices. Particularly useful for keyboard users. This one's big because most keyboard users were hugely turned off by driving because of how touchy it was. So for you PC players out there and PC Cyberpunk players, this is a good one. This is a really good one. Adjusted the vehicle steering code to work better in low and extreme high frame rate situations to produce more consistent results. Improves steering on base consoles noticeably. Okay, so that one I guess is more for console. If you have a bad PC, you'll get frame drops and stuff, and that could affect it. But I improve steering on base consoles noticeably. I don't know. I played on PS4 for like 500 hours, and it was totally fine. So it must go from good to great. Hopefully, we'll see. When it comes out. Also, don't forget to subscribe. Stay tuned, because when it comes out, I'll do all the testing and stuff of the actual patch. Right now, we're just doing patch notes because it hasn't come out yet. Unstuck rocking/rotating feature added to all vehicles, like GTA. Use left stick or A/D, W/S, or left shift/control to engage rocking and rotating to stuck/breached vehicles to try and free them. That's nice. Nice quality of life feature. They already kind of actually had that if you just turned your wheels and just kept accelerating and you went left, right, but if you were full flipped, you were done. Minor driving model tune revisions to some vehicles to improve steering, cure excessive body roll, and oversteer. Okay. Yeah, I guess some vehicles were wacky as all hell when you drive them, so that makes sense. Hopefully they're fixed now. Fixed an issue where aiming while under the effect of the Berserk cyberware moved the crosshair with no input from the player. Dude, I used Berserk a bunch of times just for fun. I never noticed this, but I'm down. I'm down to have it fixed. Adjusted fire rate of the helicopter turret in Love Like Fire. Is that the one where Johnny shoots everybody on the rooftop? I feel that is so frivolous. I don't remember what mission that is. I'm not super good on mission names. Police vehicles were no longer immediately despawn after getting into Carrie's car during Rebel. Okay, no opinion on that. Fixed an issue where projectile launch system had no cooldown. So here we finally hit our first major change of all this stuff. I mean, there's major change, but first major exploit fix as far as I'm aware. I will see how this plays out, but I think this is just a nice way of saying, oh crap, our projectile launch system was OP. We need to nerf it. Instead of saying nerfed the projectile launch system. We fixed an issue where it had no cooldown. It's like, oh yeah, it was totally intended. Yeah, for sure. I guarantee that's not a fix. That's a change. Whatever. But though now the projectile launch system might not be as OP, especially with tranquilizer rounds. It depends on what that cooldown is. They don't say if it's 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 2 seconds. We'll see. We'll see how that plays out. Bump reaction for friendly NPCs has been disabled. Okay. Maybe there's performance issues. I don't know. I don't know why you'd want to take that out. I mean, okay, whatever. Fixed an issue where grappled enemies played voice lines as if the player bumped into them. Okay, that's a decent fix. That's whatever though. Using Zetatech Sandevistan MK1 cyberware now correctly slows time. Yeah, that's right. Didn't it not slow time? I feel like it didn't, so that's nice that something broken and works now. Players can no longer cancel fall damage by performing a slide action when about to fall from greater heights. So here we get to the second exploit fix. It used to be that could be on a skyscraper and you could run as fast as you can and then slide off of it, and you'll stay in the sliding animation as you fall, and then you'll hit the ground and not die. So another exploit fixed. I didn't care about that exploit, so that's whatever, but okay, whatever. They fixed the fun exploits. It is no longer possible to perform guerrilla arms finishers against civilians. Okay. Not sure if that's good or bad or why, but okay. I never actually did that. I never thought to do that. Fixed an issue where V could get pushed too far by a speeding vehicle. What is too far? What does that mean? Whatever. If V picks up a body containing a quest item, the item will now be automatically added to the inventory. I never dealt with this, but my assumption is you could do something where you grab a body that has a quest item and then like dump it and it falls out of bounds or something, and now your quest item's gone forever. That's why they did this. I guarantee 1,000,000% that's why they did that. I'm sure people had that happen. You pick up a body, drop it, it falls through the ground, goodbye quest item forever unless you load your save. And if it's saved in 3 hours and you're like, fuck, you're like, screw this, I'm just gonna, yeah. Fixed an issue where a civilian running from a driving player could react incorrectly. I think I know what they're talking about. You'd have things where you're driving and they just like run into you or do weird stuff. So we'll see. We'll see if it actually worked out. Picking up or grappling an NPC with a burning or EMP status now transfers the status to the player. This is something I was talking about in my Discord as what? Like, wait, what? Like burning. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, you pick up a burning target, now you're on fire. That makes sense. They're hot. That's gonna hurt. EMP? What? How do you get EMP from picking somebody up? Like, do they not know what an EMP is? EMP is where you send a shock, like not a shock, but you know, whatever it is, electromagnetic pulse, and that is like a one-time thing that burns out electronic components, and now they are disabled. That physically cannot be transferred by touching. It's not like the plague. It's not like COVID. You can't catch an EMP from somebody. That's not that. What? That's how the game is now. Okay, that makes absolutely no sense. Burning makes sense. I like that, but EMP? What? You can't catch EMP from touching someone. Improved jacking in interactions with forklifts. Okay, I'm down. Whatever. Fixed an issue where dodging right after the Kerenzikov cyberware effect ended resulted in pushing V a great distance forward. So here we get to the most major change of them all, in my opinion, for my playing of the game. Speed cheat, gone. Speed exploit, whatever you want to call it. That gets, well, I don't know. They didn't say if they changed the, oh, what's that other one called? I can't remember. I haven't played the game in like a month. There's that other thing where you can dodge in the air. I can't remember the name of it. The other cyberware. You can also speed cheat with that. So if they didn't fix that, you can still speed cheat, but it looks like they removed speed cheat, which is obnoxious because that's my favorite exploit. But whatever. Okay, they got rid of it. If the other one's still in it, I'll have to get good at using the other one, which I was pretty decent at using the other one after playing with exploits so much. So well, that's kind of obnoxious, but whatever. Okay, they fixed it. I guess they got to fix it before multiplayer comes out. Fixed an issue where enemies did not fall on the ground after being killed with synapse burnout. I can't even visualize that. Are they just floating in the air? Okay, well, it's fixed. Fixed an issue where breach protocol was not working correctly against Sasquatch. I thought Sasquatch was just supposed to be immune to everything. I don't remember. I didn't play with Sasquatch much. Fixed an issue preventing Placide. I don't remember. I can't remember how to say his name. I used to know how to say it. Placide. Whatever. I can't remember. From being taken down in stealth. Wait. I thought he was just supposed to be a boss. You can just take a boss down in stealth? That's kind of OP. Short circuit quick hacks damage over time will no longer finish off defeated enemies. Where would that even apply other than Sasquatch, maybe? Okay, though. Cyber Psychos and mini-bosses are now immune to tranquilizer rounds and system reset quick hacks. Okay, that's fair. I'm totally okay with that. Tranquilizer OP, that's fine with me. Fixed an issue where stacking cooldown reduction over 100% could result in blocking quick hacks. I didn't even know it was a thing. That's OP. That's pretty cool. It's gone now, but whatever, that's fine. V can no longer use consumables in situations where scene context would not support it. I don't even... Are they talking about the med kits? Like, you can't pump your arm with that stuff anymore? That's fine. Okay. Clothing vendors now sell items more suitable for the location. Hey, that's pretty cool. I know a lot of people will be thrilled about that one. That'll be fun to play with. But now we get to the best change of everything in the entire patch notes. Out of everything they did, this is probably the most important. Cat food needed to adopt nibbles can now be bought at several food shops around Night City. It's huge. Major change. Biggest change of the whole patch right there. Game changing. The item for resetting perk points, Tabula e Rasa, can now be bought at a reduced price. Okay, that's cool. Reduced amount of higher quality crafting components needed to craft iconic items. Oh, okay, yeah. So that makes it like a quality of life. It's easier to make iconics now. Fixed an issue where V could get stuck in empty buildings when exiting a vehicle. Here we go with another major exploit removed. So I'm assuming this is specifically... Like, I'm assuming even Caliburn, which is the best for this, isn't going to work. And it used to be able to park a vehicle next to a wall, and if you parked it just right, you could get out, and it would push you through the wall. And they're saying... did I not read the whole thing? I didn't highlight the whole thing. Anyway, yeah, so they're saying they fixed that. So that's honestly fine, but I'll kind of miss that one, because once you beat the game, that added a whole new level to it of what you could do that's fun. So that's kind of... Honestly, that's kind of a bummer they got rid of that one, because if they didn't have that... I would have quit the game maybe 200 hours earlier than I did. But having that bug added a whole dynamic to the game that made it more fun, that I could just get lost. Like, okay, what's inside this building? What's inside this building? 200 hours later, I'm still playing the game doing that and running around trying to find things that are fun, you know, like, so that's, I feel like they literally just removed part of the game. Like literally half, to me, it felt like half the game, honestly. But whatever, it's fixed. Data is now correctly displayed when scanning the Militech Manticore AV. Oh, okay. Never even dealt with that. Fix the prompt on an unavailable vehicle door that said locked, left bracket, right bracket. Okay, that's fine. That's like minor. Fixed an issue where dumping a body in the trunk started the vehicle's engine. I didn't even notice that. I dumped bodies in trunks all the time just for fun and just for the heck of it, and I never noticed that. Fixed an issue where NPCs turning the steering wheel broke their upper body animations. I never saw that personally, but okay. Gorilla Arms damage has been increased by 20%. Okay. That's cool. Reduced prices of Kuroshi Optics fragment recipes. Is that the thing that cost 400,000 euro dollars? If so, then yeah, they needed to change it. It was insane. Made no sense. Reduced power of revolver-wielding NPCs. I mean, I guess that's okay. The game's pretty easy, though. Like, I don't know why I would make anything easier. Fixed an issue where disassembling part of a stack granted the number of experience as if the entire stack was disassembled. Here we go. Another major exploit change. You used to be able... That was the... I made that video on how to level your crafting the max in one button press, and you could just craft until you had, like, whatever the max was, 99,000 or whatever, 10,000. I can't remember what the max item stack was. But you can make a max item stack of something that can be disassembled. And then you would equip it and then disassemble just one. And then it would give you the experience as if you disassembled 10,000. And you could just disassemble one, disassemble. When you had enough, you disassemble one. It would give you enough experience to go from level 1 to level 20. It was hilarious. Oh, well, it's gone. It's gone, it's gone. No going back now. Disassembling grenades now properly grants common and uncommon components. I think this is them also removing the infinite money cheat from grenades. That's what I think this is, but we'll see. I doubt they added common, uncommon components and didn't nerf the epic components. There is no chance, but we'll see. Maybe they just made that exploit even stronger, but I doubt it. I have a feeling that money exploit doesn't work anymore. Extending the sliding ladder won't result in players' death if they are below it. I never dealt with that. I don't even know where the sliding ladder is. Fixed several door blockers that could make enemy NPCs stuck, preventing them from being killed. Okay. I've no opinion on that. Fixed an issue that caused NPCs to trip over other NPCs too often. I don't even remember. I can't even visualize that. I don't even remember seeing that. V should now automatically unequip a charged grenade. V should now automatically unequip a charged grenade when entering safe areas. Charged grenade? What? I mean, like, you can cook a grenade? Can you cook a grenade? Oh, I guess you can hold it, but you can't cook it, but you can hold it. I don't know. Their wording choice there really has me confused on what charged grenade means. Fixed an issue where pedestrians could get teleported after being hit by a vehicle. Yeah, I saw that all the time. Yeah, that was insane. So, yeah, that's fine. Transmigration trait is now unlockable at Breach Protocol level 20 rather than 16. Players who unlock transmigration pre-level 20 and did not yet reach that level will have the trait locked and perk points for it restored. Okay, that's whatever. Getting knocked down by vehicles no longer kills V after unlocking the Rock perk. Okay, was that like what that perk was supposed to do and it just wasn't working? It's one of the broken perks. I wonder if they oh, we'll see. But I don't think I bet they didn't fix the what is it, the quick hacking one? I can't remember the name. It has an insane name. The one that makes you restore RAM when it goes below 4. Anyway, fixed an issue where switching the weapon in the inventory 2 times in a row could result in the weapon not being displayed in-game. So that is the other major exploit fix. Honestly, one that I'm bummed about because it made the game more fun. So honestly, what this line of text here says is, we made the game less fun. Now you can't fly. You can't do the flying exploit anymore. That's my assumption. I'll test it when the patch comes out. Again, don't forget to subscribe and stay tuned for when I post that video. When it comes out, I'll make a video testing all these, confirming whether or not these actually change and if there's any way to circumvent them. But looks like you can't fly anymore, so no more exploring Night City. You can't see what's on rooftops anymore. You can't, explore anything vertical. You're just stuck on the ground now forever. Fixed an issue where completion of the Wasteland achievement could be blocked under certain circumstances. Okay. Multiple GPS improvements and fixes for the pathing in various activities and quests. Alright, I'm down for that. Fixed an issue where one of the laser trip mines in Gig Wakako's favorite would not explode upon walking over the laser. Okay, sounds good. Fixed instances of NPCs not entering combat when the player approached them in reported crime, a stroke of luck. Okay, no opinion. Fixed an access point sinking into level geometry in Gig Greed Never Pays. Okay. Fixed an issue where one of the laser trip mines in Gig Greed Never Plays could not be interacted with. Alright, and breaking a window during Gig on a tight leash will now properly alarm nearby NPCs. I think at this point I'm just going to keep reading because they're just all little bug fixes. A certain enemy NPC should now properly attack V in melee during Gig Welcome to America, Comrade. Fixed Cyber Psycho's behavior at the beginning of combat during Cyber Psycho sighting House on a Hill. Fixed AV collision to avoid the player being pushed off or stuck in suspected organized crime activity opposites attract. Fixed tracked map markers flying off the minimap occasionally. Fixed an issue where throwing multiple grenades in quick succession could make V equip an incorrect grenade. Fixed inactive breach protocol option in suspected organized crime activity, new boss, new rules. Fixed River Ward's behavior while following the player in the hunt. Fixed an issue where enemies at the crash site in Life During Wartime were not able to attack the player at range. Fixed an issue where one of the scavs would not alarm others after finding a body during the rescue. Jackie should no longer use stealth chatter just before combat in the heist. Now that one's actually kind of nice. Jackie's such a troll in the heist, man. He just the things he says, and he's screaming and yelling and stuff. So hopefully they fix that. Fixed an issue where an exploding mine would not alarm nearby enemies in Gig Goodbye Night City. Pan Am now occupies a different sniping spot during the fight with the Raffins in Ghost Town. That sounds pretty fun. That gives a reason to play through that mission again just to see what happens. Hopefully she gets in a spot that actually makes sense now. The other spot I feel like didn't make very much sense, but maybe I'm wrong. Fixed an issue where Rogue would idle after the elevator ride in Arasaka Tower during Never Fade Away. Fixed an issue in the pickup where the detonator in all foods could not be interacted with. Jackie will now empty his clip before reloading in the rescue. The Cyber Psycho in Cyber Psycho Sighting Second Chances should now respond to the player attacking at range correctly. Corrected use of cover for friendly NPCs. Okay, now that one, wait, what? Corrected use of... I guess that's nice. I mean, friendly NPCs are usually invincible, though, so it doesn't really change much, but maybe it'll look nicer when you're fighting, and they won't be doing as much weird stuff. I guarantee they'll still be doing weird stuff. There's nobody ever fixes that correctly, but we'll see. Fixed an issue where Pan Am's car could get launched into the air in With a Little Help from My Friends. Fixed an issue where Delamain Cab would launch into the air after leaving Afterlife in the heist. Fixed an issue where other cars in the race in the Beast and Me city center could get teleported under certain circumstances, causing the player to drop to the last place. Yeah, that's their fault. That's their fault that even exists, because they did the cop-out thing for that race, where literally the cars just teleport if you get too far ahead in order to keep the race competitive, instead of letting you just smoke them. Oh, it's their own fault for doing a stupid cheese system instead of just letting you win and just be a good race. It's just stupid. The car will no longer be misplaced after skipping the ride to the Piez restaurant with Joshua in Sinnerman. All right, that is it for the first part of this. There's so much more. That is the gameplay portion of the patch notes. Now let's move on to quests. Posters in Stadium Love can no longer be destroyed before the contest, which could lead to blocked progression. That's good, okay. They won't go when I go now updates properly if V leaves the studio early. Fixed inability to draw weapons at the Poppy Farm during the hunt. Fixed an issue where using grapple on gang members could break progression in Stadium Love. The pickup no longer gets blocked if Dum Dum dies at the exact same time as the last enemy. The pickup no longer gets blocked if player attacks Maelstrom before entering All Foods. Wait, how is that even possible? Oh, Maelstrom? I don't remember who's who. Never mind. I don't know. It's now possible to download eddies from cracked Militech Shard if it was not used during the pickup. Well, that's an interesting feature. The pet house from Path of Glory can no longer be accessed earlier in the game. Huh. Okay, I don't understand. Cyber Psycho Sighting Bloody Ritual now triggers properly regardless of which way the player approaches the quest area. Takamura's appearance is now present in the Hollow Call in Life During Wartime. Fixed an issue where Rogue would keep repeating the same dialogue line in Never Fade Away. Fixed an issue where V could get stuck in Rogue's booth in Ghost Town. Fixed an issue where Mr. Hands would not call V after finishing Double Life. Fixed an issue where Teddy, Carol, and Cassidy would repeat their movements if player reloaded the game during the last conversation in Gun Music. Fixed an issue where a hollow call from Regina would cut off but persist on screen upon arriving at one of the Cyber Psycho Sightings sites. My goodness, that was insane tongue twister. Cyber Psycho Sighting sites. Okay. Fixed an issue where meeting with Pan Am while on a hollow call with her in Ghost Town could block progression. Pan Am now properly says her final dialogue line in All Along the Watchtower. It's no longer possible to get into Delamain in Badlands while riding a motorcycle, which could result in crashes or getting stuck in a third-person perspective. It's no longer possible to leave the quest area while inside the Ballast in Queen of the Highway. Fixed an issue where it was not possible to interact with Pan Am if player used fast travel during the last scene of Queen of the Highway. It's no longer possible for Frank's hollow call to interrupt a conversation with the Nomads by the Ballast in Queen of the Highway. Bob and Mitch will no longer clip through the flatbed while entering it in With a Little Help from My Friends. Fixed an issue preventing players from receiving hollow calls if they left the Nomad camp immediately after delivering the flatbeds in With a Little Help from My Friends. It's no longer possible for nomads to get stranded behind the gate of the Netrunner's nest in Arasaka Tower in Belly of the Beast. Fixed an issue preventing players from receiving holo calls if they left the train station during with a little help from my friends. Fixed additional context where Jackie could be missing from in front of All Foods Factory during the pickup. Yeah, there's so many bugs with Jackie and the All Foods. It's horrible. I hope they fixed them all. V can no longer leave Jinguji in the middle of the combat with Cyber Psycho in bullets and block the quest progression. Calling Nancy from Totentans or escaping the club in the middle of the quest no longer blocks the progression of holding on. Fixed an issue where music in Totentans would be missing if player left and came back to the club. Fixed an additional scenario where Dum Dum could be missing from in front of the Totentans entrance in second conflict. It will no longer be possible to see the decorations change in Denny's Villa during holding on. It is no longer possible to use guns near the arcades during the Raymond Chandler evening fist fight. And then they put a little comment in here. You can no longer pull an Indiana Jones in El Coyote Kojo. I'm having trouble visualizing this. They fixed the gun glitch. Did they fix the heavy machine gun glitch, though? This is, but that's just for one. I'm not sure if that affected all or what's going on with that. That's going to take some testing or something. It is now possible to open Barry's door from the inside after re-entering his apartment in Happy Together. Happy Together now instantly fails if the player breaks the law near the NCPD officers. In order to complete the try talking to Barry in a few hours objective at the end of Happy Together, player now needs to leave the immediate area of Barry's apartment and come back after a few hours have passed. When Aldecaldos move or leave Night City, all signs of their old camp will now be cleaned up. Oh, okay, that's interesting. It's no longer possible to be blocked out of combat in Forward to Death while driving the Ballast through the construction site. Fixed an issue where a like Supreme would not start correctly if Second Conflict's final scene was rushed. Fixed an issue where Second Conflict could get blocked if player rushed into the elevator with Nancy in Totentans. The objective in the first brain dance in The Hunt is now more clear. Oh god, what one is that? I know that I can't remember offhand. I just remember being so frustrated with a brain dance, and that's got to be what it was. There was a brain dance that the objective was so miserable to figure out. Killing in the name now fails automatically if the player fails chipping in. The TV in Tom's Diner can no longer be destroyed. If a player destroyed it before this update, it will now be fixed, and the news will be displayed correctly to progress playing for time. I did not realize you could do that. That is hilarious that that's a soft lock. Fixed a rare scenario where the painting wouldn't appear in the drop pod in Space Oddity. Okay, painting, all right. It's no longer possible to get stuck in the water of the power plant after leaving the area in Lightning Breaks. Space Oddity no longer spawns multiple paintings blocking the quest progression. What? What? Was there a bug where it would spawn multiple paintings, or are they saying they fixed the duplication exploit? I don't understand. We'll have to test it when it comes out. Make sure you subscribe so you can see when I post a test video. It's going to be an obnoxiously hard video to make because it's going to take forever because there's so many changes. Fixed an issue where leaving and returning after the briefing in Riders on the Storm would block the quest progression. Cyber Psycho sighting Smoke on the Water no longer reappears in the journal after being completed. Fixed an issue where Router in Killing in the Name would not be interactable if player left and returned to the quest area. Automatic Love's progress will no longer get blocked by an invisible wall in Judy's workshop. Fixed an issue where, like Supreme, could get blocked. Oh, they didn't italicize. Sorry, I didn't. Let me start. They didn't italicize. It messed me up. Fixed an issue where a like Supreme could get blocked if player rushed to the toilet to take a pill before finishing a conversation with Nancy. Max Tack will now interact with V even if the Cyber Psycho was killed solo before their arrival in Jinguji in bullets. In the pickup, it's no longer possible to trigger both scenarios at the same time, a peaceful deal with Maelstrom and fighting them. Jackie will no longer get stuck in all foods if you sneak past the boss fight with Royce. Oh, there it is. That was an actual bug. I messed with that for so long. I got that bug. I tried loading the game and getting back out like 10 or 20 times, and 100% of the time, he would get stuck if you snuck out. At least for me, he did. He couldn't get out the doorway. He just couldn't figure it out. Fixed an issue where it was impossible to take an elevator to Embers in Nocturne OP55N1. Fixed an issue where player would be stuck without the phone and weapons upon leaving the shooting range before talking to Wilson in Shoot to Thrill. Jesse should no longer disappear while getting stuck out of the car in Burning Desire / Night Moves if the player took too long to get to the Ripper Dock. Fixed an issue that resulted in the player's vehicle falling under the map after colliding with a white truck in Burning Desire / Night Moves. Fixed an issue preventing players from receiving holo calls if they left the monk without meditating in Imagine Stairway to Heaven, Poem of the Atoms, or Meeting Along the Edge. Okay, I think this was big. I remember people complaining to me. I had more than one person complain to me about the monk and the mission being broken, and it broke. They couldn't get 100% the game because of it, and hopefully that fixed whatever that was. Fixed an issue where player would sometimes not receive holo calls from Delamain in Epistrophe. Yep, that one people complained about a lot. I didn't have an answer. It was an actual bug. Destroying North Oak Delamain no longer prevents player from talking to the monk in Poem of the Atoms. Fixed an issue where I Fought the Law could get stuck on the Talk to Jefferson objective. I think I had that happen. I think there was a way to fix it, though. You could just, like, save and load or something. I don't know. Leave and come back. I don't remember. Fixed an issue where leaving both sides now... let me read that. Fixed an issue where leaving both sides now quest area could prevent the player from starting other side quests. Mako now correctly dies when pushed down the mega building H8 in PCs. I don't know how to say that word. PCs? I don't know. Judy no longer follows the player around the world if they left the quest area before entering the Braindance studio in Disaster Piece. Well, that's no fun. Why would they remove that, dude? Those are fun exploits. Like, what? That's just straight fun. Oh, well. Fixed an issue where V could get stuck in one of the dollhouse booths during Automatic Love. Fixed an issue where coin-operated boy could get blocked if player didn't talk to Brendan immediately after seeing his conversation with a girl. Fixed an issue in the space in between where conversation with fingers would not start if V sneaked into his office through the window. You could sneak into his office through the window? I had no idea. I didn't know there was a window. Fixed an issue where Panam's quest-related dialogue options could be missing before getting into the ballot in Queen of the Highway. Cyberpsycho sighting Lex Talionis is now correctly marked on the map. Fixed an issue where leaving the quest area too quickly before Claire reached her car in The Beast and Me would prevent player from starting other quests. Fixed an issue where The Beast and Me Santo Domingo race and A Day in the Life could be active at the same time, causing some problems. Fixed an issue where fast-forwarding the scene with Sandra Dorset in the bathtub in The Rescue would result in Trauma Team not arriving at the balcony. Added a physical reward from Regina for defeating all cyber psychos that could be found in her office. Hey, they did it! Oh, I had so many people complain to me, and they were furious that they did all the cyber psychos and there was no reward. She was just like, thanks, bye, basically. That's it, whatever. So those players will really be happy about that. That is just tucked in here somewhere, but that's pretty huge. Fixed an issue where Takamura would sometimes not call back after doing the reconnaissance alone in Gimme Danger. Fixed an issue where V could get stuck on the roof of Finger's Clinic. I didn't even know you could do that. Fixed an issue where no more main missions would appear after finishing Playing for Time. Quest icon is now correctly removed from Johnny's clothing set after breathtaking achievement has been unlocked. It's no longer possible to get locked out of the Silver Pixel Cloud Cinema in Blistering Love. Fixed an issue where skipping time in Blistering Love could block the quest progression. Rogue no longer disappears if player took too long to take the pills in Blistering Love. Fixed an issue where Rogue would not leave the car upon arriving at the Silver Pixel Cloud Cinema in Blistering Love. Fixed an issue where player would not be able to continue the main storyline after completing Search and Destroy. Fixed an issue preventing the player from talking to Theo in Coin-Operated Boy. Fixed an issue where Cyber Psycho sighting on deaf ears wouldn't count as completed if V killed the Cyber Psycho before finishing the holocall brief with Regina. For players who already finished the quest, it'll be marked as completed. Okay. Talk to Kirk objective is now correctly marked on the map in Small Man, Big Mouth. Reloading autosave created on the encounter at Abunik during Chippin' In no longer results in replaying Johnny's dialogue. Fixed an issue where Grayson could be immortal during the encounter at Abunik in Chippin' In if met on the lower deck or attacked from a large distance. Fixed an issue that could prevent player from leaving the quest area by car in Chipping In. Fixed Rogue's erratic movements during Grayson's interrogation in Chipping In. Fixed an issue preventing players from killing Grayson during the interrogation scene if he wasn't damaged during combat in Chipping In. It is now possible to talk to Mitch about the Panzer training and complete the additional objective in We Gotta Live Together. It's no longer possible to get blocked when drinking and chatting with the veterans in We Gotta Live Together. Fixed an issue in the pickup where player could trigger the combat with Royce while being outside all foods, which blocked the quest's progression. Fixed an issue that could cause the door to Lizzie's bar to become sealed if the player decided to walk away from the entrance in information. That's big. I actually had multiple people complain to me and not ask me, how do I do this? And I'm like, I have no idea. Try leaving and coming back. I don't know. Fixed an issue where calling Wakako from the journal during a conversation with Judy could block both conversations. Misty can no longer get killed by a stray bullet in Heroes. Fixed an issue that could block progression if the player took Panam's Overwatch rifle and disassembled it before she offered it to V in Riders on the Storm. That's a pretty funny exploit. Fixed an issue that could block the drive to the Wraith camp if the player abandoned the quest midway through in Riders on the Storm. Fixed an issue that could block progression when performing a save/load cycle while escaping the Wraith camp through the pipe in Riders on the Storm. Quest objective now properly updates if player rushed through the pipe to find Saul in Riders on the Storm. It is now possible to go alone straight into the camp without waiting for Panam in Riders on the Storm. It's no longer possible to reactivate Pyramid Song by returning to the quest area and jumping into the water after it already failed. Skippy will now properly count NPCs that were killed or defeated with his help, regardless of installed mods and cyberware. Conversations with Skippy will be adjusted to players' actions more dynamically. Okay, but they didn't change how he works. I'm assuming it's still, if you didn't know, Skippy, I think if you kill 50 people and he swaps modes permanently. So if you pick headies, then after 50 kills, then he only shoots bodies, and vice versa. So you want to start with bodies, and then he swaps on you forever. I think that's how it works. I don't think they changed it. It is now possible to use weapons at the entirety of Batty's Hotel back parking lot. That is worded very poorly. Fixed an issue that prevented the player from talking to the NCPD officers at the beginning of Happy Together. Happy Together will now fail immediately if the NCPD officers spot V carrying a dead body. That's pretty funny. Fixed an issue with the jacket being not available if the player loots and disassembles it before talking to Kirk in the Small Man, Big Mouth quest. I don't know how to say her name. Maman Brigitte will now always properly answer V's phone call in the transmission. Placide's call will no longer be interrupted by other calls in I Walk the Line. Fixed an issue where Dum Dum could be present in Totentans during second conflict and become hostile towards V, blocking progress even though he was killed during the pickup. Now that's a pretty funny bug. Glad they fixed that, I guess. Fixed an issue where the guards wouldn't move away from the elevator door in Nocturne OP55N1 if player backed away while approaching it for the first time. Fixed an issue that prevented player from selecting destination after getting into the AV in the Corpo Rat. It is no longer possible to leave the basketball field near Lizzie's bar prematurely in the Corpo Rat. Oh, wait, is that the one where you could get out early? Is that on the rooftop? I don't know. If there's one on the rooftop, you can get out and then jump off the building and then explore Night City before there's anything in it in the tutorial for Corpo start. I have no idea if that's that or not, though. Fixed an issue where player could not move after losing a fight against Rhino in Beat on the Brat. Fixed an issue where it was not possible to talk to Jackie after finishing the scene with Victor in the Ripper Dock. Fixed an issue where Maelstromers wouldn't spawn when player used another path to reach Nancy's room instead of following Patricia in second conflict. Fixed an issue where under specific circumstances player could become locked out of certain abilities by taking a ride with River in I Fought the Law, but then abandoning the quest. Fixed an issue where Nancy could disappear while being escorted out from Totentons in second conflict. Fixed an issue where the elevator in Totentons could stop on the second floor instead of the ground floor after V interacted with its panel in second conflict. Delamain now only calls once when V is close to a lost cab in Epistrophe instead of calling each time V is in the vicinity of a lost cab. Fixed an issue that could lead to equipment not getting properly removed or items getting lost inside the scavenger's apartment in Sweet Dreams. It's no longer possible to destroy the car with the mysterious conspirators inside the Prophet's song, which prevented players from looting the chip. It's no longer possible to kill Gary after killing the Nomads in the Prophet's song, which therefore can be completed now. The journal entry will be cleaned. Fixed an issue where interacting with Misty in her shop would not be possible if the player left heroes mid-quest to pursue the Fool on the hill. Completing the Cyber Psycho Killer now rewards the player with experience. Increase the value of Liam's bride in violence. Various other quest improvements and fixes. Oh, that is so much. We are about halfway done. Oh, my throat's killing me. That was quests. So now we're done with quests. And now we can move on. Next up is open world. Fixed an issue where it was impossible to complete the objective for destroying flamingos if they were destroyed before the objective was active in Epistrophe Rancho Coronado. Collisions will no longer fail to stream. Well, let me read that again. Collisions will no longer fail to stream in randomly during driving, which could lead to V driving into buildings and falling out of the world. That's a nice quality of life fix. Destructibles will no longer become indestructible after loading a save. Fixed an issue where some NCPD hustles were not marked as finished after looting the objective container. Fixed an issue where achievements for completing district activities were not always unlocked. Failing gig no fixers will no longer block the Wasteland achievement. Fixed an issue where completed NCPD hustles were not always counted properly towards the Jungle achievement. Fixed an issue where collecting the additional reward did not end the gig properly in Gig No Fixers. Fixed an issue where V could be unable to interact with the computer and upload the virus in Gig A Lack of Empathy. It is no longer possible to complete some parts of the gig before getting the contract in Gig The Frolics of the Councilwoman Cole. Huang Bo will no longer get stuck inside a car in Gig Flight of the Cheetah, which could lead to blocked progression. Fixed an issue where V sometimes could not talk to Anna Hamil in Gig Woman of La Mancha. Fixed an issue where combat would not always interrupt dialogue with Anna Hamil in Gig Woman of La Mancha. Fixed an issue where some dialogue lines could be missing during holo calls. V will no longer be unable to move after finishing Gig on a tight leash. Interaction with the van in Gig Radar Love will no longer disappear before returning it, which could lead to block progression. Looting medicines right after getting to CPL Hare's room will no longer block progression in Gig Backs Against the Wall. Gig For My Son will no longer get blocked if Logan dies during holo call with Muammar El Capitan Reyes. Fixed an issue where V could get stuck in combat in any gig until all enemies were defeated. It is no longer possible to stop the Fixer's car in the middle of the road in gig Getting Warmer, which could lead to blocked progression. Max Jones will no longer leave his room in gig Freedom of the Press before V comes in if V starts shooting the turrets. Guards will no longer get stuck in the elevator in gig Fixer Merc Soldier Spy. V will no longer get stuck behind the desk in the hospital lobby in gig Cuckoo's Nest. I think I read that wrong. It is no longer possible to talk to Max Jones after using Short Circuit Quick Hack on him in gig Freedom of the Press. It is no longer possible to start combat with Anna Hamil while being in apartment one floor below in gig Woman of La Mancha. Fix an issue where the urinary stream could still be visible after NPCD stopped peeing and moved away from the spot. Okay. NPCs will no longer stay blocked on traffic lanes while in fear. NPC hit by a car will now immediately run in panic now. Added different animation variations for pedestrians running away from a vehicle. Okay, so all three of these are just nice quality of life to make NPCs feel less dead. Fixed the issue where the arcade machines did not display any games in a pachinko parlor in Jig Jig Street. Added the missing animation for opening the doors in several quests. Improved force opening doors animation. That's nice. I thought it looked fine before, though. Added missing unauthorized prompt for elevators protected by authorization. Various immersion improvements and fixes in the open world encounters and gigs. Okay. Ooh, God only knows what that would be. Now it's time for cinematic design. Progress will no longer be blocked when player chooses the Corpo line twice while talking to Hanako in the safe house during Search and Destroy. Fixed an issue that could block progression if the player reached Wakako before Takamura in Down on the Street. That one, I actually had people ask me, and it was a big thing for a little while, and people went dead to it eventually. But yeah, that's good they fixed that because that was common. Takamura will no longer teleport to Wakako if the player chooses to go alone in Down on the Street. Fix the camera issue when exiting the car at the beginning of Last Caress. Fix an issue that could block the player from using the ladder in the security room in Gimme Danger. Jackie will no longer disappear when entering the elevator after a peaceful deal with Malstromers in the pickup. River Ward will no longer have a gun attached to his hand when saving V from the infected brain dance in I Fought the Law. Dum Dum will no longer walk on air when leading V to Royce in Second Conflict. Classic Dum Dum. River Ward will no longer walk through the elevator's doorframe when entering it in I Fought the Law. Jackie's guns will no longer disappear when V is knocking down Royce in the pickup. Player will no longer have a weapon equipped during the romance scene with Judy in Pyramid Song. Mako will no longer walk through the couch in PCs. Fixed an issue in New Dawn Fades that resulted in having doubled sunglasses in the ending cutscene. Fixed an issue that could block progression in Gig Hippocratic Oath when injecting the patient with synthetic blood. Fixed a subtitle issue displaying debug text in Pyramid Song when playing in Polish. That's pretty funny. Fixed an issue in New Dawn Fades that resulted in having doubled guitar in the ending cutscene. Fixed a camera issue in Never Fade Away. Junkie at the Atlantis Club will no longer glitch in Never Fade Away. Fixed corporal hair sliding animation in the Gig Backs Against the Wall. Unified the distance of dialogue interaction in Pyramid Song. Fixed an issue in Pyramid Song which resulted in an option to talk to Judy on the pier while V was underwater. Wow, I didn't know about that. That would have been so funny, I bet. Fixed an issue, Gig Last Login, which resulted in Ripper Doc Charles smiling throughout the conversation without a reason. That's another one pretty darn funny to see. I never got to see that. That would have been funny. Judy will no longer play the wrong animation sequence if V declines to stay in the hut in Pyramid Song. Fixed an issue that resulted in a failed objective when killing the truck driver in Sinnerman. Fixed an issue of endless walking on the treadmill in Where Is My Mind, which blocked progression. Fixed an issue with a doubled tablet in Where Is My Mind. Fixed an issue where Saul had the rifle attached to his hand after the car chase in Riders on the Storm. Fixed an issue where Pan Am was not holding whiskey bottle correctly while raising a toast in Riders on the Storm. And by the way, I read that correctly. That was actually a typo. Fixed missing UI dialogue elements and misleading placement of UI dialogue when talking to Pan Am in Riders on the Storm. Fixed the camera issue when getting out of the van in Riders on the Storm. Man, Riders on the Storm must have been the buggiest mission in the game. Oh my goodness. Added depth of field effect to the player's view at significant moments. Oh, that sounds fun. Fixed missing personal link in life during wartime. Fixed an issue where Hellman's personal link could be found floating in life during wartime. Fixed overlapping dialogue between V and Pan Am in life during wartime. Fixed an issue in Ghost Town that caused the glass in Rogue's hand to be misplaced when playing in languages other than English. Added touchscreen animations in Pan Am's car in Lightning Breaks and life during wartime. Touchscreen? You mean, okay, that's interesting. That sounds interesting. Phone will no longer disappear from the NPC's hand in the afterlife scene of Ghost Town. Fixed NPC T-posing in the dollhouse in Automatic Love. Classic T-posing. Teddy will no longer be teleported away in the scene at the abandoned railroad station in With a Little Help from My Friends. Fixed an issue that could block progression when giving Pan Am cover during the deal with 6th Street in Ghost Town. Car lights will no longer stay on after the car battery dies in Ghost Town. Saul will no longer clip through Pan Am's car and forward to death. Fixed player's camera animation in Lightning Breaks. Fixed Pan Am's gun equipping animation in the AV scene in Life During Wartime. Fixed a visual issue with mantis blades after a car crash in Playing for Time. Corrected camera behavior after interacting with the drawer at the police lab in The Hunt. Soldiers who are missing guns when Smasher appears in Love Like Fire are now armed. A disabled turret visible while flying to Arasaka Tower in Love Like Fire works properly now. Fixed an issue that caused Rogue to be misplaced while approaching Arasaka Tower in Love Like Fire. Fixed an issue that caused Spider Murphy to disappear after jumping from the helicopter in Love Like Fire. Victor will no longer teleport to the chair when the player leaves the clinic before taking a seat in the Ripper dock. Fixed a camera issue when driving to the Mega Building in The Rescue. Fixed an issue in Nocturne OP55N1 where petting the cat would play without dialogue. And they have a comment here. V will now properly address the cat even without Misty's answer. And they really, I got credit to them for, sending the cats. After boat drinks, Carrie will now hum his song while walking to his car. Fixed. That's just like an extra feature. They didn't even say it's a bug fix. It's like added something. Fixed V's reaction to Johnny's decision in changes. Fixed synchronization in Adam Smasher's animation and changes when playing in Polish. Now stomping should stop as intended. Fixed the drone in front of the chapel in Maap Tan Pelen. Polished scene in Micah's office. Polished, not Polish. They just said Polish. Polished scene. I don't even know. Now, that makes polished or Polish scene. You take your pick. In Mako's office in X Factor. I have no idea what that could even mean because of the way they worded that. Fixed an issue that could block progression when raising your hand at the wrong time during the dinner scene in Following the River. Fixed the interaction range to get in the AV in the Corpo Rat. Fixed missing NPC being thrown away from the toilet during a Cool Metal Fire sequence. Added missing scene to the Japanese version in a Cool Metal Fire sequence. It's no longer possible to drive away without Johnny when picking up the Porsche for the first time during chipping in. Comment, leave no Johnny behind. Okay. In talking about a revolution, depth of field now resets after leaving Judy's apartment. Field of view now goes back to its set value when V sits up to talk to Johnny after watching brain dances in Double Life. Fixed facial animations in all the scenes where V leans on the mirrors throughout the game. Oh wow, so they fixed the mirrors. That's like just hidden in here, just so hidden in here, but bam. An actual important thing. Sort of important, but a big thing. Initial dialogue with Takamura in Down on the Street can now be interrupted and restored. Fixed an issue where Johnny could be unable to connect to the access point in Love Like Fire. Fixed the lack of interaction with Mitch after skipping dialogue in We Gotta Live Together. V no longer gets stuck in a sitting position after connecting to Pan Am's car in Life During Wartime. Fixed an issue that prevented player from controlling the turret and could block progression in Love Like Fire. Added missing family photo during the scene with Hanako in Play It Safe. Fixed an issue with Detective Han's cigarette in I Fought the Law. Characters no longer teleport near the player while in a holo call dialogue. Fixed multiple issues with V wearing the wrong clothes in third-person perspective. Fixed multiple issues during sex scenes. Oh yeah, everyone. Actually, a lot of people care about that. I didn't care about that, but a lot of people did. My god, other YouTubes had so much crap about sex scenes in this game, it was obnoxious. Improved interruption system for scenes. Fixed an issue where the stalker wouldn't arrive at the bridge in every breath you take. Fixed an issue where Judy would stand up from the chair in the scene between brain dances in Double Life. Fixed multiple issues with important quest NPCs randomly missing animations during cinematics. Interrupting dialogue will now stop the voiceover line. Fixed multiple issues with NPCs mounting vehicles. Fixed Jackie's pose and grip on the motorcycle's handlebar in the pickup. Alright, there's that section, the environment section. We're about 2/3 of the way done. Now it's time for environment and levels. The objective will no longer get stuck on neutralize the attackers in Dream On. V will no longer get stuck inside an AV flying off it standing on pipes during suspected organized crime activity opposites attract. I don't even, wow, that was something I was reading that was weird. Fixed an issue where 2 fast travel points were missing map pins. Fixed multiple issues related to improper NPC behavior in combat. For example, not changing to the correct attack mode or getting stuck in a location. Yeah, that's nice. They need to fix so much stuff with combat. Fixed multiple issues related to NPCs not reacting to V's presence or not entering combat properly. I'm not sure about this one. Because, like, I know before you could run up to enemies and they wouldn't aggro at first. But now do they aggro? Like, we'll have to test that. I'll have to try to remember that and test that when this actually goes live. Fixed multiple issues related to NPCs clipping with objects. Fixed a number of issues related to wrong or missing contents of lootable items. Fixed multiple issues related to V not being able to interact with lootable items. Fixed multiple issues related to improper functioning devices such as cameras, turrets, or mines. Fixed an issue where ballast could fall under the map when the door leading to Mikoshi is reached. Fixed an issue where Lieutenant Maurer had a high chance to die in collisions, blocking the Cyber Psycho hunt. That's pretty funny. I didn't know that. That's hilarious. Fixed an issue where it was very difficult to access the computer in the back of the gas station in Life During Wartime. Fixed the misspelled Leaving Night City sign. Oh, where was that? I remember that. When I was streaming this, people pointed it out. I forget where it was or what it was. I remember that, though. Fixed the glitched scaffolding in Haywood, Vista del Rey. Fixed multiple issues where players could fall out of the map due to gaps and missing collisions. Fixed multiple issues where players could get stuck in location geometry. Fixed multiple issues where players could reach unintended areas, potentially blocking quest progression. Fixed multiple issues with disappearing or misplaced assets. Fixed multiple issues with assets floating in the air. Fixed multiple issues with assets appearing or changing appearance on site. Fixed some issues with parts of assets missing, allowing the player to see inside. Fixed issues where rain would be present in covered areas. Fixed issues with invisible colliders present on locations. Fixed multiple issues with higher resolution textures failing to stream in. Alright, that's it for that section. Now, we are moving on to graphics, audio, animation. Fixed NPCs moving after being killed. Improvements in textures rendering from afar. Hopefully they'll make the game look better. Fixed a visual issue with fast travel and cinematic transition. Adjusted visual quality of some elements when underwater. Improvements in materials detail quality. Fixed V's incorrect position while riding a motorcycle. Oh, I know what they're talking about. Yeah, I took screenshots of that and posted on my Discord or something, and it was hilarious. Like, I forget how it looked, but it was totally insane. Improvement for interior and exterior light sources. Adjusted dirt quality on medium and low settings. Fixed the lack of a crack in the mirror after V smashed it. Fixed an issue where pink particles could appear on camera camera close-up. Improved foliage destruction visuals. Fixed a visual issue where pavements could be covered with rectangular shapes in shore areas. Oh, I saw that, yeah. I didn't know that was, I thought that was intended. Fixed the overexposed foliage elements visible when entering a vehicle. Fixed an issue where some items could disappear after being destroyed. Items could disappear. What? Aren't they supposed to disappear after being destroyed? Oh, I know what they mean. They mean like objects on the ground. Like you shoot a box and it explodes. Carrie's bathrobe is no longer incorrectly attached to his lower part of the body. That I never saw that actually. It's pretty funny. V's hands are now correctly displayed on steering wheel while driving. V now leans out of a vehicle correctly during chases. Oh, that's a big one. That was annoying. Like, yeah, that's good. Fixed an issue where the character could appear deformed while mounting motorcycles. Yep. Classic motorcycles. Fixed the level of detail issue occurring for Joy Toys in Jig Jig Street. Fixed several issues with missing lip sync. Fixed multiple issues with NPCs T-posing. Camera no longer flips when V is under an object and jumps. Improved camera movement when entering a vehicle. Fixed an issue where some items could be attached to NPCs twice. Fixed NPC shouting after being killed. I'll miss that one. That one was really funny. Jackie no longer shouts nice shot when V kills enemies while in stealth mode. Fixed particle burning effect applied repeatedly when player stands in fire. Fixed NPC animation issues after skipping the ride. Fixed flickering of stars on the surface of the lake in one of the scenes. Fixed faraway terrain disappearing in Badlands. Other city parts visible from the distance now look more realistic due to adjusted lighting. Fixed an issue with black weapon scopes during the chase in Riders on the Storm. Improved visual quality of Black Wall and Mikoshi. Fixed an issue where the weather state would not adjust correctly after loading saves or exiting to the main menu. Holographic elements in specific character outfits now display correctly. Fixed an unwanted jitter effect on frosted glass surfaces. Fixed an issue where a white line can be visible at the top of the screen when in cyberspace. Alright, that's it for that section. Now, let's move on to UI. Fixed an issue with ads not being properly displayed on curbs. Multiple visual updates and adjustments for ads. Fixed multiple visual issues in quest briefings. Updated the Arabic language layout in quest briefings. Updated the grenades icon according to their damage type. Fixed multiple visual issues with the icons display. Fixed multiple visual issues with the UI panels including journal, map, scanner, and others. Fixed an issue that paused the game if the shard was read directly from the loot container in a minor activity. Fixed freezes and crashes related to equipping and unequipping Johnny's jacket. Added button hints in order to move forward on the treadmill in Where Is My Mind. Fixed an issue where database links would not allow jumping to a selected entry. Fixed an issue that blocked the player from answering holo calls manually. Wait, answering? What about like not answer? Oh my god, because I don't know if they ever changed it, but you can't not answer calls. Calls happen no matter what, and you just got to deal with it. Entering a vehicle right before opening the vehicle menu should no longer block further progression. Okay. The health bar should now be visible during car chases. That's good. Performance improvement to the inventory panel. Oh, that's nice. That'll be nice. That inventory was so slow. Fixed an issue where the NPCs could be tagged as minimal threat regardless of the actual level. Fixed multiple issues with button hints. Fixed multiple issues with the character creation panel. Multiple fixes improvements to the crafting panel. Fixed issues where the level requirement was not displayed correctly in the upgrade menu. Added an option to craft multiple items at once. Oh, wow. Though that's just hidden in here. That's just hidden in here, but that's massive. That's so massive. Holy cow. Like, no, I don't know, you guys, you want some grenades? I don't want to craft them. You need some bullets? I don't want to craft them. I don't want to sit there crafting for literally 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 8 minutes. Like, that's amazing. I'm so glad. Fixed an issue where preview stats shows the same values before upgrading an item. Added a crafted icon to the tooltip of crafted items. Well, that's helpful. Fixed multiple issues related to the cyberware panel. Multiple adjustments for the D-pad input. Fixed multiple issues related to HUD elements. Multiple fixes in inventory and backpack panels. Fixed an issue when weapons could show 0 DPS before looting them. Yeah, I remember that. That was something about save loading or something. I forget how. I used to know how to trigger that. I don't remember. Fixed an improper icon of the clothing item when looting body in Gig Serial Suicide. Multiple fixes and adjustments to the main menu and settings panel. That'll be nice. Fixed an issue where replacing mods on some legendary items could add an empty mod slot. Oh, I didn't know that. That'd been an awesome cheat. That would have been an epic cheat. Added a disabled state to mod slots when there are no available mods to equip. Optimizations for crafting panel and items display. Fix an overlapping tooltip of body attribute in the character menu. Visual effect for adding attribute points in the character menu should no longer be missing after hovering over perks tree. Okay. Multiple fixes for scanning functionality and its HUD display. Added a toggle to enable/disable comparing tooltip. Multiple fixes related to buyback pricing and performance improvement in the vendor panel. There it is. There it is. That's so hidden. Alta test, maybe not. That's where they fixed the painting. That's where they fixed the painting. I almost guarantee it, but maybe not. Maybe I'll get in the painting will still sell for about 4,000. But fixes to buyback pricing. I can only think of one thing that comes to mind when they say that, but maybe not. Maybe not. We'll have to see, but I guarantee that painting's going to be a 20,000 buyback now. We'll see, though. Man, that is tucked away. That is so tucked away in there. Holy cow. That's just hidden. Okay, anyway. Fixed an issue where the game could freeze during Ghost Town if a player chose to wait until Rogue is ready right after asking Claire for a drink. Fixed an issue where a player could die right before the scene transition and play it safe, resulting in blocked progression. Fixed an issue where weapon crosshair did not disappear after aiming down or unequipping it. I remember that one, I had that. Fixed an issue where debug text could appear after skipping and fast forwarding credits. Updated the credits list. Fixed an issue where ads text localization upon scanning did not work properly. Fixed an issue where highlighted dialogue lines when talking to Johnny could not be visible after visiting Hanako and taking the elevator down in Nocturne OP55 in 1. Fixed an issue where restoring defaults could set all settings to low on second and consecutive launches. Fixed corrupted characters in different languages. Multiple fixes and adjustments for input issues. Various UI performance and stability improvements. Epic and legendary loot dropping from defeated enemies are now better visible in the minimap. Oh, that's helpful. Threat level for undiscovered gigs is now displayed correctly. Fixed issues with D-pad/arrows navigation in the menu and inventory. Removed unnecessary health bar animations after loading a save. Fixed item tooltips remaining on screen after closing them. Oh, thank God. That one was so annoying. There was a way to fix it, though. I don't remember what it was. There was actually a workaround. Fixed an issue where the value per unit would be displayed instead of total value in case of items with quality larger than 1. I have to read that again. Fixed an issue where the value per unit would be displayed instead of total value in case of items with quantities larger than 1. Are they talking about for selling? I guess it's talking for selling. Fixed issues related to changing gameplay difficulty settings in the menu. My rewards pop-up in the main menu is now hidden when streamer mode is enabled. Fixed issue with broken buildings visible on the main map. Okay. Added overhead text size option to the subtitle settings. Fixed multiple text-related issues. Fixed multiple issues related to UI streaming. Alright, that's it for the UI. They tucked away in there. They fixed the painting probably, but we'll see. Maybe they didn't. But that's just totally the only thing in that entire thing that was notable. Okay, well, that's it for the UI section. Now, on to stability and performance. This section discusses changes that enter all the platforms, but many of them make a bigger difference on last-generation consoles and lower-performance machines. So PS4 and the older Xbox and really crappy computers. Improve stability and performance of the engine and the rendering engine, reducing the number of random crashes. Memory optimizations. Memory optimizations and memory management improvements in various systems, reducing the number of crashes. Various optimizations and improvements in shadows, shaders, physics, work spot systems, spawn systems, scene system, animation system, occlusion system, and facial animation systems. Fixed mechanism for managing UI icons, atlases, memory, which helps with memory-related crashes, especially during long playthroughs. Multiple UI stability improvements and fixes for the most common UI-related crashes. Various crash fixes, among others, in setting menu upon reloading saves repeatedly during gameplay and GPU-related. Multiple UI performance improvements. Fixed a performance drop during controller button mashing, causing V to receive multiple copies of the same item. Fixed detection map markers sometimes appearing broken or glitchy on machines with slower hard drives. Various other stability and performance improvements. Honestly, between all these improvements, they might actually get rid of the duplication glitch just by making the game not be so slow, but we'll see. Now on to miscellaneous. Fixed incorrect censorship when playing a copy of the game from a region other than Japan while the console region is set to Japan or language to Japanese. A settings option to hide potential enemy markers was added to the interface tab. Oh, some people will find that helpful, I bet. A settings option to hide NPC name overhead displays was added to the interface tab. Also very helpful. Telemetry consent is now saved in the user profile and synced via the cloud. Logic for loading last checkpoint when there is no existing save file improved. Fixed game going to a black screen after difficulty is changed in the pause menu. Improved D-pad arrow navigation in the menus. They literally said that in the UI, I'm pretty sure. Navigation in the load/save menu improved. Fixed fist description in the quick weapon selection menu. Fixed an issue where the player could get locked in an aiming or crouching state after leaving a vehicle. Yep, I remember that one. The fix for that was to, I think, open the menu and close it, or hit, open like one of the menus and close it, I think was the way to fix it. I later found out I could just hit whatever L2 is on a controller, or that is other consoles. I don't know. Fixed an issue where jumping on carrying a body. What in the world are they saying? Fixed an issue where jumping or carrying a body into point of no return area could lead to point of no return save not being created. Added fade in on returning to the game after final credits. The one more gig message will no longer be displayed when the game ends and there is no point of no return save. Fix an issue that could cause the money transfer notification to appear as 0 if the player performed a save load cycle right before it showed. Fixed an issue where NPCs were missing their weapons after loading a save. Fixed an issue where engaging in combat in front of Misty's Esoterica could cause a nearby animal's bouncer to follow V in combat state to Victor's clinic in the Ripper Dock. That sounds kind of funny. Fixed an issue where Monk's wall could reset if the monk stepped on a defeated Maelstrom corpse in Losing My Religion. Misty will now walk correctly down the stairs on the way to El Coyote Kojo Bar in Heroes. Telemetry consent request reappears once for some players due to an issue causing a reset of settings. Alright, PC specific. Enabled ray tracing on AMD graphics cards. Latest GPU drivers are required. Keyboard bindings. More keys are now available for rebinding. Keyboard bindings. It is now possible to bind opening and closing specific panels to the same key. Keyboard bindings. It's now possible to unbind dodge from the movement keys in settings controls. Dodging can still be performed by double tapping the crouch toggle action key default C. Wait, are they saying they did or didn't fix it? Because the main thing was that double tap dodge was horrible. Everybody hated it. It is now possible to enter journal from the map panel using a keyboard. Achievements will now work on the Epic Games Store. That's pretty big. Modding. Added a new mod folder for loading modded archives. The modded archives can be named in any way and go into the mod folder now. Having mod archives in the patch folder is no longer supported. Fixed an issue that prevented grenades from being charged after closing a dialog window using escape. Okay. Fixed the issue where some environment elements would not be displayed correctly on 8K screens. Fixed an issue where HUD elements would be missing in 8K resolution. Fixed an issue where perks from a certain area of the submenus were not displaying descriptions on 4K and 5K ultra-wide resolutions. Console specific. Here we go. Fixed an issue on PlayStation 4 where items couldn't be dropped from the backpack as they would always reappear back in the inventory. Oh, wow. So that was actually a bug. I never dealt with that. But I had lots of people from PS4 tell me about that, and I gave them all the tips on how to work around it, and then I never hear from them again. So I'm guessing one of the tips I gave them to work around it must have worked every time. But fixed an issue where Johnny's custom HUD wouldn't be present on Xbox One during the concert scene in Love Like Fire. Fixed an issue that caused the game to zoom in when pressing pause on PlayStation 4 Pro and Xbox One. I remember that one. That was annoying. Fixed a streaming issue with the elevator panel and Play It Safe on Xbox One. Improve the mechanism for adjusting the UI texture resolution depending on the platform. Fixed an issue that could cause the game to become unresponsive for pressing A immediately after deleting a save on Xbox One. Fixed an issue on Xbox One that could cause the game to become unresponsive when changing profiles on the title menu. Fixed an issue where loading a game save while being in a car could turn the screen black on Xbox. Various memory handling optimizations on Xbox. Good for you, Xbox players. You go get them. Improved screen space reflections. Fixed issues with screen space reflections and temporal anti-aliasing. Fixed rendering issues when fog interacts with nearby lighting on PlayStation 4. Various environment streaming and input-output improvements. Oh, that might not be as obvious as it sounds, but that basically means the game will play better, if that is true. Various NPCs and vehicle streaming improvements. Same for that one. Fixed multiple issues with random game freezes. Fixed issues on PlayStation 4 whereby corpses with heads dismembered could glitch out. Oh, I'll miss that, man. I'll miss that. It was so funny. You could, instead of their head coming off, their body would turn into like this crazy pretzel thing. And it was hilarious. It was so funny. Oh, I'll miss that one. That was such a good bug. Fixed an issue where V could fall down the elevator shaft. Fixed an issue where the game on Xbox One would become unresponsive when signing out while the controller disconnection message is visible. Fixed an issue that caused the player to be unable to exit the settings menu after making changes. Claire's truck is now properly placed in the garage in The Beast and Me. Fixed the missing water surface shader on PlayStation 4. There was a missing water surface shader? And then the final thing they say, and many more. So they're telling us they did more than what they're telling us about. God only knows what's going to be the case when this finally goes live and I get to bug test all this. Oh, geez. This is going to be a nightmare. Oh, man. So many exploits are fixed now. Who knows what else is going to be fixed. Make sure you're subscribed so you can see that when it comes out. Hopefully, it'll come out today and I get the video done tonight and post it tonight. Or if it comes out tonight, I'll get the video posted probably tomorrow morning. It just depends. But once it goes live, I will sit here and I will painstakingly test all the exploits and look at some of the things that changed, maybe. At least look at the exploits, if nothing else. Do I have cheats still? I gotta have my cheats, man. I gotta have my fix, you know? Gotta inject those cheats into my veins. But yeah, so, yeah, make sure you subscribe and check out that video when it goes live. But that's it for the Cyberpunk 2077 1.2 patch notes. It was a behemoth of a patch. This was insane. Holy crap. Like, 1.1, they had a month to work on 1.1 and it was like nothing. And then they had like 2 months to work on 1.2 and it was like 50 times the size of 1.1. So I don't really know what happened. I don't know if there's leadership change or what, but my goodness, they got a lot done. Like, if you were sitting there thinking, should I play Cyberpunk or not? Should I wait till after the patch or should I wait longer? After this patch, if you've never played before, now's a good time to play because the game for the most part should just work now. But we'll see. They might bring in more bugs on accident when doing all these changes, but we'll see how it goes. Well, if you're still listening to this audiobook, this is the end. It's time to roll the credits. My goodness, this video is probably about an hour. I don't know. I'll have to see when I get into the video editor, but that's it for the patch notes. Hopefully you enjoyed that. I don't know how you would. It was just listening to an audiobook of patch notes, but now you know what's going on. If you actually listen to the whole thing, holy crap, you just listened to an hour of patch notes. So that's what's going on in the Cyberpunk world right now. March 29th, 2021. Patch 1.2 is about to go live, and it should be a good one. If this video helped you, consider helping us by subscribing to our channel. Tap this button over here and hit the red subscribe button. Subscriptions help a lot, even if you never watch our videos again. Ha 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 ha!